Hello, welcome to Zatu Games. Red and yellow and... no, it's just red. The Red Cathedral. Let's go see what I think about it in this review. At the start of the game, you will build out your towers according to a card for your player count, and there's loads of them, so you get a lot of variety. You build them face down and place a workshop tile on each one. Your player board, if you're using the basic side, we'll look at the advanced in a minute, will have all your ornaments, one door, two windows, and a cross on there, along with your banners which mark where you have scaffolding and where you have built. They also have these workshop spaces here. The first thing you can do on your turn is take a scaffolding or a banner action, and that is to claim one of these spots. You must always claim from the bottom up or above an existing one that has been claimed. So if someone else claims this one, I could claim above here. When you claim, you're also, for your first four, clearing space to store more resources. You can only ever store a maximum of 10 things, including your banners, and you can't discard any. If you take too many, you just can't add them in. So we'll take this one. We'll go for this one here. And then we take this workshop token, and if we have enough money, we put it face up on any of the workshop spaces. And if we do not have the money, we just pop it face down or discard it from the game, depending on what you want to do. So let's say I put that on there. That means whenever I use the red dice in a market action, I will also get the reward of the blue dice. So as you can see, you can get rewards for every single dice. The white dice, you choose one, you never get both. So that is a real good bonus. If I've paid to do that, I also get to activate it right away now. So I would look to the board, take the blue dice bonus for wherever the blue dice is. Just the resource bonus, not the card bonus. And you only ever take one no matter how many dice there are on the board, on that little section of the board. I can also deliver to the towers. Now, I can only ever deliver 3 resources at once. If I'm building, it doesn't matter if I spread them across things. So I could have, let's say I've got these 2 as well, like so. I could spread all 3 of these across my different things that I own. So I could put a brick there, a gem there, and a wood there. If I ever build above someone who hasn't built yet, if I ever complete one, then they will potentially lose points. But let's say in this case I went to complete this one. It's above mine, so it doesn't matter, I complete it. What I do is I take the resources off, I gain any points and coins if there are, some of them have coins, and I flip the card round. This is now open for an ornament to be placed on it, and in this case the top domes take the cross, the middle ones take the windows, and the bottom ones, base ones, take the doors. Now, the difference between these and buildings is you must deliver everything at once, and they have a base cost, so the cross would cost gold, and then you can deliver it with a number of up to 2 gems. So I could say I'm going to deliver it with 2 green gems. Because they're not unique, each gem would get me 1 privilege, but if I delivered it with with 1 of each, then I would get 3 prestige, which can be quite big, especially early on in the game. I can also do a mix of these things. So I could decide here to deliver the cross just to stop anyone else doing it. I'm not going to get any prestige because I don't have any gems, and I'll deliver 2 bits to my other sites as well. But you must remember that whenever you deliver one of these, you must take you must pay everything at once. You can't then later add to it. Now here are some extra rules. You can pay a prestige. You can go back to the nearest prestige at any time, as many times as you want, to get 2 coins. You can pay 1 prestige once per turn to re-roll the dice at the bay you are at. And this just reminds you that you can move your white and the same colour dice that you are around by paying extra money. The game ends when a person has completed all 6 of their banners there. Let's have a look at the advanced side of the player board. There is not an awful lot of difference here. I've already turned it over. What am I doing? Except that you place 2 of your banners here, the other 4 go there, and your ornaments go over the other workshop bays. All these bays now cost 3, and you must, when you pay the 3, you can move these across. However, with these ones, you have to use a banner action to take some scaffolding to free up those spaces. So you've got to prioritize which ones you do out of these 2. So it just makes things take a little bit longer. The market action is the most in-depth in Red Cathedral. You will select a dice and you will move it that many sections, the number on the top, that many sections around the board, taking the resources that you land on. So with the red, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get a green resource, green crystal resource. I would then re-roll any dice in that part, and if I want, I can also take the action on these cards. There are 2 types of cards here. This one is a one-time use. You choose either or, so you get 1 normal point, or you exchange 3 different goods for a prestige point. If it ever has the red infinity symbol there, you can do these trades as many times as you want or are able. These are different each game. There is 3 of each type, and they go onto the board randomly, and they give you extra options like changing up goods or making single deliveries or more. If you ever end up with a situation like this blue one here, we move that 1, 2, then you would take 2 of the good. You take the amount of the goods that there are dice there, not the numbers, remembering to re-roll all the dice in the spot you stop on. Also, going back to your player board, if you move your colour or the white die, you can pay money to move them further. So 1 coin per extra movement. Also, if you have upgraded these with workshop tiles, whatever dice you move, if you've upgraded that with a workshop tile, you also get the workshop bonus, which we'll look at when we look at the player board. That is the market action. Endgame scoring is through all your points connected in the game, and then you score for prestige. Each completed item in a row is worth 2 points. Potential 2 prestige, and each ornament on there adds 1. So if we were doing this one, we would have 2, 4, 6, 7 points, and the person with the most banners and ornaments on will score the most points, and then depending on player count, it breaks down to less points for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th players. First thing I want to say about the Red Cathedral is, wow, there is a ton of game in this box. And this box is, well, it is bigger than my head, but it is small for a game box. You do not usually expect to get a game of this weight, this complexity, in a small box like this. It's also rather good. On your turn, the choices between the actions are always really interesting. At some point you want to build, and building is the most boring action mechanically, but it can also be the best action because you can punish other people, you can take their spot with your ornaments by sticking your ornaments in sites where they've built. The whole kind of building of the towers, I think, is just a great visual. I know some people don't like the looks of this. Yes, the box looks meh, but I really like that visual look of this building, of towers made by cards, and the way everything's super clear, and you can build up as you go. Yeah, I like that. I really like the dice system where you'll go to market, you'll choose a dice and you'll move it round the number on the dice. Now, that does create a little bit of what we call analysis paralysis for people, where they might not be sure which dice they want to move and trying to work out a way to get their optimal go, because you trigger the resource in the market, but also you trigger the card next to it if you want. And sometimes you'll want the card power more than you'll want what's in the market, but you'll often want to go where there are other dice to increase what you're getting. Yeah, again, a really neat decision. And then so Eurogame has this interaction between players that is just really, really nice. Like, it's quite direct interaction, but it's not mean, it's not attacking, apart from maybe taking someone else's spot or putting out a scaffolding above them. You have to have scaffolding out before you can deliver building resources. But again, putting out a scaffolding is really interesting, because you get one of these tokens back, a workshop token, which can then increase the bonuses you get from using dice for the marketplace action. But again, it's a simpler action than the marketplace action and a shorter turn, and it gives people access to the building spot above that scaffolding, because you're building your scaffolding, someone else could come up and build on top of that. So you've always got to think, if I complete this building now, will someone else stick their ornament on it? Will someone else build above it? And if you complete a building above someone else's scaffolding where they haven't completed yet, they're going to lose points. The point system is also really interesting, because you have 2 levels of points that move up the track at different speeds. You have the prestige, which is ultimately what you want, but you also have the normal points that move up slower, at least initially, but as you get round to 40, the gap between them decreases. So really, you want to be doing the actions that get you prestige early in the game, and if you get past 40 during the game round, you want to be doing them again. But towards the end of the game, that feels like a waste, and yet the way the game weights everything is that it is easier to get the prestige points later on in the game. The solo mode in this is also very serviceable. It's quite easy to run. It makes sense. I think I had one question that was quickly answered about a situation where the rulebook read one way, and that was if the solo player couldn't move the dice because there was where they were going to move it to was full with 3 dice, do you then flip over their workshop token? The answer is yes, you do. The rules didn't quite read like that, but that was the only thing, and the designer is active on Board Game Geek and answered that question quick, sharpish. I'm quite taken with it. I think this is I can definitely see why it's hard to get hold of, definitely see why it's sought out by people. It is a very satisfying game. It is quite a rare Euro-style game in that it has that kind of really strong player interaction where your actions will impact everyone else, and despite the potential for a little bit of analysis paralysis around the market action, everything else moves at quite a clip, and in fact the game end is really quite easily controlled by the players, because you only have to build your 6 you have to complete 6 parts of the towers, and you can race ahead to do that if you wish. So you can even kind of attempt to control the end of the game. There are advanced boards on the back of the player boards, which add in a few more hurdles to jump over, a few more steps to get your ornaments and to get your workshop spaces. I haven't felt the need to dive in with that yet, but it's nice that it is there if we find that early games tend to play out the same way, which I guess is a potential, but there's so much variety in the way the market is set up. That's random each time. In the way the towers are done, there's cards to randomize those, and in the help you get from spreading your influence with the 4 people around the marketplace. So I can't see that being an issue. It would just it would slow the game down a tad and make the game a bit longer, because you would have to free up your ornaments first, and you'd have to free up your extra workshop spaces. If you can get hold of it, if you like medium to medium Eurogames with direct player interaction, but in the terms of when you're letting another player do something. And even in the marketplace, that is possible to set them up for an absolute belter of a move. But that is always in your control, what you leave open for the next player. And I really like that. So thank you for watching another Zatu Games video. Do remember to hit like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. We also have accounts on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. And that might be it. It might not. Facebook. Did I say Facebook? Probably. Search for Zatu Games or Zatu Games UK to find all those lovely, lovely accounts. And remember, we have a live show on Facebook on Wednesdays from 8 PM. And we are live on Twitch on Monday lunchtimes at 12 and Fridays from 9 PM, playing a mixture of video games and board games. We'd love to see you there. But for now, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.